Serious, what's a dumb question that you want an answer to without being made fun of? There is a lot of misinformation here, which goes to show a lot of people think they know the answers to dumb questions but don't. This is actually a really nuanced and interesting question. Let me clarify it a bit for you. Property law in every state is based on English common law, meaning every state originally followed the accepted judge-made law of England. Regarding subsurface rights, the original common law axiom was quus est solum, jus est usque ad coum et ad inferos, or whoever owns the soil, it is theirs up to heaven and down to hell. However, this was before things like subways, pipelines, and other things were invented. But if every did own their land all the way down to the core of the earth, then how did they lose it? Well, it varies state by state. Property law is wholly within the bounds of state law, so every state's property law is different and often archaic. Some states still uphold the ad infinitum doctrine, meaning you own your land all the way down to the core of the earth, but there are still ways around this for public, subsurface utilities. Some states have held that you only own a reasonable amount of land under the surface earth often. Some have said that the government has an easement right to use your subterranean property below a certain depth, but you still own it. Basically, it depends on your state and sometimes locality. Sorry if that's an unsatisfying answer, but usually when it comes to the law the answer is it depends. Your problem is participation in the conversation. If you answer with more than a single word or single phrase answer, you won't get hounded with question, but you can start a reasonable discussion. If someone asks you a question like "How was your day?" don't say good. They don't want to hear that. They want to know about the things you did and how they made you feel, even if they weren't that interesting. Don't just tell them it was good, tell them why it was good. Just think to yourself, if I walked up to a person and all they ever said was okay, maybe, sure and kinder, you wouldn't be too happy, would you? You have to engage in a conversation if you want something out of it. Lovers and friends tell each other about interesting things that happened to them, things they learnt, experiences they had, common interests that they share. It can be literally anything, but you have to be part of the conversation if you want it to stop becoming a litany of questions. The interrogation that you're running into it caused by the other person wanting to talk to you. If someone wants to talk to you, they'll keep trying different topics until they find something that interests you enough that you engage in the conversation. Remember, it takes two to tango. If one person doesn't want to participate in a conversation, then you won't get very far at all. You need to connect with the other person by engaging with who they are. If they are totally dead-ending you, ask them what do they do in their spare time, or what do you like to do. Trust me, people love to talk about themselves. I do, you do. We are all the center of our own unique universe, and we all have our own perspectives, loves, hates, and relationships. In the end, if someone doesn't want to talk, don't let that bother you. People can be like that, but don't be oppressively forward and outgoing if they show signs of wanting to be alone. If they keep saying cool, okay, and whatever, they obviously don't want to talk. I find that if I stick around long enough, but I'm not overly forward, that people will open up to conversation over time. All it takes is persistence and patience. Source: my brother does the exact same thing. If he just answers with dismissive phrases, he seemed and was extremely antisocial. He's 21 and still doing it. It's really not good for his business or social life, but he's slowly getting better. Even if he is still dismissive to his family, he's at least not doing it at work anymore. I was also an offender till I learned how to change my ways, both in regard to myself being an introvert and my approach to conversation. It is such a huge quality of life improvement. I hope I answered some of your questions. Thank you all so much for all the positive comments. It means a lot.
Hey guys, much like you, I love reading people's stories on Ask Reddit. Unfortunately, there's a lot of weird middle school level, just thought experiment type hypotheticals like nice try Baskin Robbins. I don't find this compelling, so that's why I've made it my mission to trawl and crawl through Ask Reddit and find the very best content and put it in your ears. That's why I'm begging you, like and subscribe. If there's anything I can do to help you out, give you the kind of content that you crave to help you get through your workday, let me know in a comment. But please like and subscribe.
They're called cattle. Non-castrated adult males are called bulls. Adult females who've had a calf are called cows. A young female who hasn't had a calf is called a heifer. Young cattle are called calves until they are weaned. A castrated male is called a steer, and older steers are often called bullocks. However, note that in the US, a bullock is a young bull. A castrated male kept for draft purposes is called an ox. A springer is a heifer close to calving. A female twin of a bull is usually infertile and is a free martin. Cattle for consumption are beef cattle, and cattle for milk production are dairy cattle. As bonus info, it's mostly like this for whales, hippos, camels, elks, and elephants as well. Yes, Google is especially good at this. Try Googling an address and directions right now and then do the same at rush hour. The ether will be vastly different assuming you live in a densely populated region. This all works. Google tracks your apps as you're using it and sends that data back to Google. So if there's a traffic jam, it will tell Google this person has only traveled 14 miles in 30 min, and the next users to Google that route will know that the route will take a long time. When you click accept on the user agreement, you're allowing this transfer of data. It's amazing. Yes guys, I didn't specifically say anything about lights, but lights are part of traffic and Google does have algorithms built into their mapping navigation software that accounts for lights. Wow everybody, thanks for all the upvotes. As a geography graduate student looking for a big kid job, it's really great to see people acknowledging my expertise in the area lore. What do friends and lovers actually talk about? I mean, what comes after hi? How are you? Good, thanks. And you? Good. In normal conversations. That's as far as I can get. Coworkers can talk about work. Schoolmates can talk about school. What do friends and lovers talk about? I honestly do not know how to have a conversation that does not involve one person explaining or giving orders. I think this is why I cannot make friends and quickly lose the few I do make, so I would really appreciate an honest answer, which would be an explanation, wouldn't it? See? That's all I know. I'm nearsighted. When I take my glasses off, everything is blurred. If I dunk my head underwater, everything is more blurred. Yet, when I put goggles on, I can see as well underwater as I can on dry land with my glasses on. Surely, I would only be able to see as well as I would without glasses. Switched to nearsighted. Also, what's with you guys squeezing your eyeballs? Pretty sure this is mostly psychological. A part of your brain doesn't want for you to pee in the middle of the mall, so it takes a bit of time to force your body to react in the appropriate way for pee to actually come out. That said, when you really, really do want to pee in the mall, it'll be easy for you to do it. Don't know about cats and dogs, interesting question. But whales and crows both have dialects, different patterns of communication when pulse are separated by a large distance. Yes, 3 or more crows is actually a murder. I didn't make that up. Jesus, people. Okay, I get it, cows do it too. Interesting story. One time my dad and I were driving somewhere, and we were tracking our progress on his phone. Funny thing was, the phone kept saying that it would take us about an hour longer than the drive usually does. When we got to be about 20 miles outside of our destination, we hit a traffic jam caused by construction on one of the lanes. We were in there almost exactly an hour, and we arrived in town right when Google said we would. We were definitely impressed. How do you get a desk job? I'm a young adult male with muscular dystrophy, but I only land jobs where you have to walk a lot. I've been a kitchen manager, a retail manager, and worked at various odd jobs in the service industry. I can't walk a lot anymore, and I do not want to go on welfare so young. Can someone give me some advice, please? Thank you for your replies, honestly. I did not expect this. I am grateful for all of this advice.
If there's ever a fly or a mosquito or like a yellow jacket or some weird unknown insect in my house, my wife will not leave me alone until it is dead, and she will blame me personally for having a house that an insect entered. The only way that I'm able to buy peace for myself so that I can work on this YouTube channel that you enjoy is by using an electric fly swatter with an affiliate link in the description. The way this fly swatter works is that you hold down the little button and then you whack the fly as if it were a tennis ball, and it looks like a tennis racket. And what the electricity does is it stuns the insect or kills it so that you can clean it up easily. And the fact that it's a tennis racket gives you a much better chance of actually hitting the insect. And I found it invaluable, and I hope that you will decide to also use it in your home. And, if you're like a teenage boy, you can also whack other teenage boys with it. We used to do that in the Boy Scouts.
Really? I can't imagine that any lady has long enough labia majora that they would catch under their thighs. I mean, they're not frit roll-ups. On the topic of female undergarments, I do feel quite sorry for vaginas. They are cavernous places plagued by darkness for most of their lives. Cocooned in thongs and briefs, they rarely see the brightness of our sun. Next time you complain about the sullen weather, spare a thought for the plight of the common vagina, forever confined to a life of darkness. When I was a kid, 100 and hell years ago, my buddy's parents had a home movie camera. Not a camcorder fobs or anything like that, several years before the Beetle War. The mum would film stuff and then show it to us. I never saw anything she had shot recently, but I recognized my buddy and the locations around the neighborhood in the movies. I asked her, does this kind of film need to be developed? I was maybe 7 or 8 at the time. Pictures had to be developed at a store. She looked at me like I was the dumbest shit kicking rocks. She says, what do you think? I felt so stupid I didn't dare answer and just kinda leave it to be read it with something like, oh, okay. I'm almost 40 and to this day, I still don't know if that kind of film has to be developed. I still kinda feel dumb from that lady too. If a 40-year-old man don't know, screw you lady, how was a dipshit kid supposed to know that? Like reel to reel. Yep, most all home movie type footage until the mid-October 2nd, 2024's film, and all film except Polaroid pics have to be sent out for developing. You can tell film from video by the crispness in terms of time frame rate. Super 8 film was much slower than video. The mom's a dick, whatever the gender equivalent is. If I used a teleporter, would it kill me and recreate my body atom by atom at the other end? Or just transfer me to another location? Sorry, didn't watch Breaking Bad lol. Got this idea while watching some episodes of The Universe on Amazon Instant earlier today. She can't walk a lot anymore and I do not want to go on welfare so young. I like your attitude. Anything remotely involving computers will get you there. You could go for something basic like data entry at first, or work your way towards something more advanced like programming. There are a lot of programming jobs out there where most employees work from home, so you would even need to commute. If programming is not your thing, you could try CAD, computer-aided design, graphic design, or technical writer. I'm just listing jobs in companies I've worked for, so the list could go on and on. Okay, my question is really stupid, but here goes. So say one of those monkeys that can communicate to humans through sign language has a baby monkey. Okay, so the mommy monkey will get treats whenever she communicates in sign language and the baby notices. Would the baby just copy T mom for treats and then that's how monkeys communicate from there on, or am I just being really stupid? It's been suggested that if you have the genetic variation of the right-hand gene you will be right-handed, but if you lack the gene you only have 50 chance of being left-handed. That, and huge historical, and some not so historical taboo about left-handedness that results in many people having to learn to use right hand more. But how do you do that without it coming across as an interrogation? Like, how was your day? Good. That's good. Hey, what do you think of baseball? I'm not a fan. Me either. Do you play chess? Sometimes. Want to play? Not really. Oh. What do you like to do for fun? You know, stuff things. Yeah, me too. Do you like cats? I guess. You're creeping me out, dude. What's with the 20 questions routine? Sorry. I'll never bother you again. Thanks. This is basically what happened to me whenever I tried to make friends. How do you talk about people's interests and not do this? I've actually been too embarrassed to ask how Reddit karma works. Is it just all of your upvotes minus all of your downvotes? Does that automatic upvote count towards your karma? If you delete a post, does it take away from your total karma or add to it if the post was in the negatives? I don't know if there is a reply all function pretty new to this. But I just wanted to say thanks to everyone for your answers. That was really helpful. I'm so happy I asked. Any of those. Depends on what they're talking about. Research is usually from students, professors. Why the fuck does this have so many upvotes? It's a really simple answer. Another oh, I see how it is. 113 more upvotes. Well, okay. I'm going to post something really disgusting and weird here soon, like the chocolate story or an SYNC lyrics if you don't stop.
I turned 36 this year and I decided to focus on my physical fitness, so I bought a swim club membership. The only problem was, most of the time when I go swimming, I wind up getting an ear infection. So it turns out that normal earplugs, they kind of irritate your ear canal, they don't really work, they don't keep the water out, but there is an amazing kind of earplug. It's called Mack's Pillow Soft Silicone earplugs that, they feel great, they keep the water out 100%, they're reusable, and they don't irritate your ear canal at all, no issues. If you've ever had a severe ear infection, you don't want to experience that again. It can permanently damage your hearing if you're unlucky. So investing in these earplugs is definitely a good idea. Also, when my baby was crying later this year and I could not get to sleep, I used the same earplugs and they worked great. I was able to sleep right next to a crying baby. So be sure to click my affiliate link and purchase some of these Mack's earplugs today.
Also, as a lesbian, gay porn, as in gay males, is my porn of choice. Hetero porn is obviously right out, women are treated like shit, and the end goal is always getting the dude to come. Then you've got lesbian porn, obviously catered to men. 99 of the ladies in girl-on-girl porn are hilariously bad at having actual lesbian sex. Those poor women visibly find nothing sexy about being face-to-face with a vagina. Gay dude porn, though, man. Those guys are into each other hard. There's lots of sexy energy. They're equal partners. They're clearly constantly trying to turn each other on and get each other off, etc. Despite the penises, what turns me on is how gay it is. Edit to address some common questions that are still coming in 10 hours later. If you want lesbian porn for lesbians, see Pronobate's wonderful comment here. Yes, I know about amateur porn, and yes, it is lovely. Yes, I know about X art, and no, it's not really my thing. Yes, I know vaginas don't have faces, and yes, you're hilarious for pointing this out. No, gay for pay isn't nearly as common as you people seem to think it is. Absolutely this. I'm pretty sure I could go and sit on the toilet and 99 of the time I could let at least a little dump out. My body just says, oh, he's sat down with his pants round his ankles and his phone in his hand. Better release whatever's in the old bowels. I can tell you that as I have gotten older, if a girl in a video is too obviously young, it makes me feel creepy. I mean the girls that like a ponytails and dress to look young. On the other hand, some girls are clearly young but have that timeless beauty, and I enjoy that. It's different for every woman. Menstruation is physically painful for some women, not all. Some women have more extreme hormone changes. Normally I am not affected much, but while I'm on my fertility medication, my hormone changes are a bit more extreme and make me emotionally oversensitive, and my cramping is 10 times worse. It's the same reason that you can't call the police because airplanes are trespassing on your property by flying over it. Additionally, It's the argument that oil companies used when they were sued by farmers for drilling the oil out from under their property, and the argument used by the government when they flew overhead of suspected marijuana growers without needing to obtain a warrant. I didn't say that oil companies were allowed to drill oil from under your property. I said that the oil companies argued that it was too far under the farmer's property to be considered reasonable. Also, milkshakes.
Did you know that when you drink tea from a tea bag, especially a cheap tea bag, you are exposing yourself to microplastics greater in quantity than from any other source? Microplastics are the number one health risk of our generation, and they will have unknown consequences on future generations. So, if you value your health, destroy your tea bags. But that doesn't mean you can't enjoy great tea. I'm going to post affiliate links for my own homebrew loose leaf tea concoction that I drink every single day. It has no microplastics, and it honestly tastes better than tea from a tea bag ever did. So be sure to click the links below and get on the loose leaf tea train to avoid poisoning yourself and your children.